There's no place you can plug. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Please, if you have been able to join the live session, you can drop a message in the comment section so that we can proceed with the class. You can drop a message if you are online. Please, sorry about the unexpected delay. If you are online, you can drop a message in the comment section. Still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Okay, the link to the class will be shared to you so that you can access it later on if you are not online. So we'll have to proceed. First of all, I appreciate everyone that has been able to stick around within this period of these 3 day classes. I appreciate you availing yourself, and also I congratulate you on this new phase of your career. Today is supposed to be the last day of these classes. So, first off, in the long run, the class, if you are actually going to continue with this class, you can, we'll be offering certificates for it, and also support and other, of course, we'll update that in the group. So, as of the task that you were given yesterday, I found out that nobody has submitted yet, and the whole essence was for you to do it so that I can understand how far you were able to absorb the course and also how fast you can perform a task. So hence nobody was able to do it. There's something we will do. I will have to work on the task so that probably later on you can access it and watch it and see how you can do the task later on. So here I will be sharing my screen. I'll share my screen. So um, now this is task you were given yesterday. So you were told to complete the numbers in the first column of this SN. This is our SN here, this particular guy. You were told to complete it. Sorry about this. This was a mistake. So for the field, I can remove no field. Sorry, then can delete the cells left. Or let me just delete the entire. Entire row. So I'm deleting the entire row. Now we are told to complete this number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to the last name that is here on our box. So here you can click on this place and try to drag down. Let's just drag it downwards. Let me drag to the last. So this is our last, Christopher Ikene. So you notice that everything was showing 1 1. You can use this fill series. That's the option you were given there. Use fill series to ease the task. So when you drag, you notice that the process was easier. It's not something you come and be typing 1, 2, 3, 4 and just be wasting more your time. So I was able to complete this process by just dragging down and changing to fill series. Then for the create a column that will contain names and amount separate. Now in our video, in our class yesterday, I spoke about using a flash fill. You can use flash fill to achieve this. So this is what we are going to do. I will name this name, our name. Then here, I want to bold in my text, sorry. Let me bold in both of them. Now I can also fill it with this same color I use for SN. Now here, there's something Excel does when you enter a name, or let's say the number that is in the previous, in the cell close to the one you want to use, it automatically understands that okay, when you drag down, it will follow that same series to do it. So this is what we are going to do. I want to fill in amount first. Sorry, so that the process won't be hard for me. I'll fill in amount, then I'll enter 50,000, then I enter 100,000. If I continue entering it like this, it will be stressful for me. So I'll try to, this is what we do. You come to data, then you see this flash fill. You can click on flash fill. It understands immediately that okay, what you wanted to do is to copy out the numbers that is here and then move them to the next cell, which is why it moved 50,000, 100,000, 30,000. So it will just do it accordingly. Now the next we want to do is to fill in our names. That's what the task we're also doing in this too. We're told to enter the names. So here I'm going to create a new cell. When you create a new column, sorry, when you right click your mouse, you right click, you click on insert, you will see entire column. You can create a new column. Now I want to enter names here. So my names will be here. Names will be here. Then I can still do the same way I did by name. I can fill it same way I filled the other ones. So I hope everybody is following. My screen is displaying. My screen is showing, so I don't know. You should be seeing my screen given yesterday. So please, if you are not seeing my screen, drop methods. Please drop a message. If you are seeing my screen, drop a message. If you are not seeing my screen, drop a message. Perhaps it's the network. I don't know, but my screen is showing properly. Please kindly if you can see my screen. Please drop a message if you can see my screen. Well, Anyways, the link to the course will still the link to this particular stuff will be shared to you later on. So hopefully you can still watch it later. So now I want to enter the names Emmanuel, Okechukwu, Okechukwu. Now I want to do the same thing I did for amount. I can come to go to data again, click on flash fill, and Excel automatically fills the rest of the names for me. It understands that I wanted to fill in this name. Now I want to delete this particular cell. So watch where I clicked. I highlighted this particular B column, then I click on delete. Then I still want to delete the entire column and it's all gone. So that was what you were actually told to do. It's very easy. It was actually an easy task to perform. And that's how we have been able to separate this easily. Now, we're also told to get some mistakes are here. But let's just delete first so that we don't. Let me just delete this. Let me delete these rows because going to sort them out now will be a little bit stressful for us. So let's work with this ones. Should have checked this thing before. But let's delete. Um, okay, um, sorry, this is taking much of our time. Wasn't terrible. Mm, terrible. Okay, so you can see the screen. So now let's continue. Let's continue. So for this place, the next task we were given was to convert the data to table in Excel so that you can see the sort function effectively. Now to convert to Excel to a table, you can click on any of these cells first of all, then click on insert. You will see this place where they say table, you can insert a table. You click on OK. It brings out a dialog for you. Just select OK and it converts to a table. Easy peasy. If you want to still design or maybe change some functions, you can still head over to this place to select whichever you want, but we're not really using that. So this is how our table is going to be. Now we can sort when you click on drop downs, you can sort them. Maybe I want to sort the names A to Z, vertical order A, B, C, D, just like that. So if you want Z to A, it does the same stuff. It does the same stuff for you. So let's just leave it A to Z. Now we are the next stuff we're told. Okay, using the sum function, add all amount. So using the sum function, we are going to add all the amounts that we've been provided with. I will just click, I'll just enter total at the bottom, total, then here equal to sum bracket open. Now I want to select from C2. I don't want to go back up. Let me just do it C2, C2 to C48, C48. And I click on enter or tab. It sums it up for me 5,470,000. That is our total. Now we can still highlight this and just use some sort of color for this place. Then here we have the um, add all amounts. We've done that. Now we said using the next task is using conditional formatting. Display amount less than 100,000 to have red. Display amount less than 100,000 to have red. So yesterday we learnt conditional formatting, and how to do this. You just select this particular place where the amounts are, this, then you come to conditional formatting. We have this new rule, this place for new rule. You will see this place where you are told format all cells based on their values. Now we can come here and you just select based on numbers. Based on numbers, we want to use 100,000. Anyone that is less than the minimum here is, for here, this place where you were told minimum should be 100,000. Sorry, 100,000. I want it to be, we were told to make it to be on red, so use it for red. Then you select, just click on this drop down, select number, then we enter again 100,000. 100,000. So you can select this one to be on green. You click on OK, and you can see everything has been done very easily for us. The ones that are less than 100,000 have the color red. The ones above 100,000 or equal to 100,000 have this color green. So the next on our lesson was to create a pivot table. Creating a pivot table to display name and amount. Format the pivot table to display top 10. Now, we were also told that you can create a pivot table. I hope everybody our task. We are still trying to solve our task. So I believe you guys are still with me. So you can click on this place of this place. Just click on each any of these cells that of your choice. Select any of the cells. Then you see the insert. You see insert. You see the pivot table. You can click from table range. From table range. Now you are asked, do you want it to be on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? So we want it to be on a new worksheet. You can click on OK. When you click on OK, it opens this place for you. Now what we were told to do was, the task we were given was to create a pivot table and then format the pivot table to display top 10. Just make it to display name and amount, then top 10. That is the criteria we're given. So here, what we'll do now is we move the names to the rows, and then values contain amount. You enter amount here. That's what we do. So when you enter amount, we were now told to make it top 10 only. As you can see, it is showing literally everything that is there on our previous worksheet. So what we'll just do is we come here, change this to value filters. Then you see this place for top 10. You click on top 10. Now we are doing top 10 items and sum of amount. You click on OK. So it brings out the top 10 items for us. And here we can now also create a chart, which we're told to create a column chart. I think that is one of the tasks we're given. Create a column chart on the pivot table. We can create a pivot chart. So what we do is we'll come back to this place. Then here we select any boxes. We select any of these boxes, then click on insert, and then you see this chart. You can actually click on recommended charts, then you see all the charts. So we have this cluster chart. So we can click on OK, and as you can see, we have this here. So what it is showing us is that NY, ES had 200 and wait, 2,250,000. So, and that is the highest here, I think. So that is for it. We can still edit this our chart if we want to. We can edit our chart if we want to. You can select any of the charts of your choice. You can select any of the charts of your choice. So, but in this case, we'll just maintain this. Then, then we can change this to have total amount for top 10. Let's just change it to top 10. Top 10 amount. Now we can still change the color of our stuff. We just click on format and we use shape fill. We use the shape fill. Want it to have the color, let's use sky blue. Sky blue. So that is it for the task we were given. I don't know if anybody was able to do that task actually, but this is just what you were required to do. This was actually the task you were required to do. So now also we'll be moving to our slide where we will share. Let me share the screen for our slide. So in our classes yesterday, we stopped at creating charts and also understanding charts and graph types, which what we explained yesterday. If you can recall, we said there are different charts for different purposes. You cannot use a line chart for, sorry, you cannot use a pie chart for a bulky kind of data set. So with time you will learn the types of charts you can use for different purposes gradually. So for the task, you'll be given another task to do where you get used accustomed with creating charts and all these pivot tables. Now for our filtering, we've also learned filtering, conditional formatting. We learned all of that yesterday. So for our X lookup and creating of if functions, creating if functions and sorry, using if function, logical statements, true and false statements, all of that, X lookup. Now we are going to be using, well, let me share a screen for the data set we are going to use for that task. So hold on a minute, please. Okay, let's. So for this, we will be using data set, the if function, so that you can see how if function works. Now, let's say we want to make a comparison, we want to compare two stuffs. We can use the if function and function. Now, there is how if function works. Let's just explain. Probably I was sending you to the market. It's a logical statement. I'm sending you to the market. I said, okay, to get to the market, help me to buy socks. Help me to buy socks if it is 500 naira. If it is not 500 naira, don't buy. So I've given you a condition to meet. If the socks is not 500 naira, please do not buy it for me. But if it's 500 naira, you can go ahead and buy it. So if function is a logical statement, you are trying to position yourself, help me do this stuff for me. If the result is not true, present so thing. If the result is true, present so thing. So now, most times if statements are used, of course, if we get to nested if statements are also used for compiling school results. In the stadia, you'll be saying if this person's score is above 70, give him an A. If it is not above 70, give him A. If it's above 60, give him a B. Or if it is within 60 and 65, give him a B. If it is between 50 and um 59, give him a C. Or depending on the grades you are giving. Then if it is less than 50, give him an F. So that is where if statements come into play. So now in this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to use if statements, logical statements to for data analysis to perform tasks. So now we'll just be diving straight into it. For our if statement, we'll be using equal to. When you want to start a formula or a function, you want to work with anything that has to do with calculations in Excel, you want to use a function, whether it is for string words, for string values, or it's for numbers, you use an equal to start. So we use equal to if. Just watch. Now when you type if, you'll be seeing checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if true and another value if false. So we are selecting our if. Then now just watch the next thing that was presented to you. You have if bracket opens logical test. What do I want to test? Now after the logical test, it's going to now present you with value if true, comma, value if false. These are two things that are going to happen. If it is not true, it will present a result of false for you. If it is true, it will present a result for true to you. So for our if logical test, we want to test if LeBron James is above, if his 214 pay is above um 50. If LeBron James 214 pay is above 50, we will present the value true. If his if his 214 pay is not above 50, then we present the value false. So what we are going to do now, we select LeBron James first. We'll click on this greater than. Remember what we said, if it is greater than 50. If it's greater than 50, we'll have this value. When you want to enter a string, which is like a word, you use this quotation mark for it. So now we are going to use and we type in um, true. Let's just say, okay, let's say yes, the end. Let's just try to make some kind of statement. The end high. Now value if false is the end low, end low in 214. So we click on the close our bracket. Now what we did there? If LeBron James is his 214 pay was greater than 50, then the statement true is going to return to us, which is yes, he aimed high. Else, if he aimed low in 214, so we click on this. Sorry, yes, he aimed high, he aimed low. Let me check. There will be mistake. Please be careful with the commas so that. Oh, sorry, it was this comma that I used here. So we can click on enter. Now we can still drag this down. Let's just drag down. Now you notice what will happen. Let's just stop somewhere around here. What happens next is anyone that is less than 50 will be tagged the end low in 214. So as you can see, Derrick Rose in 36.6 and 36.6 is lower than 50. so he aimed low in 214. Now about the if and. If and statement, we are trying to compare two stuffs together. We are trying to compare two things. Yeah, like, and there's one thing about if and statement, the both conditions must be true to get a true statement. If the both of them are not true, it will not bring out a positive result. So let us say now we want to compare if LeBron James, if LeBron James 214 pay is greater than 50 and his salary slash winning is greater than 10, then return so so result for us. Else if you return a false result. So what we are going to do here is equal to, sorry, equal to if statement. Now our logical test, we use this. Sorry, we first type our and. Please take note of the syntax. Our and, we open a bracket, we close, we type this 214k, which is above 50, comma, this guy, the salary slash winning is also above, if it is above 15, if it is above 15, then we just type the statement through, comma, you can also type the statement false. Sorry, there was a little mistake here. We have to close our bracket first. We close our bracket, then we close this other bracket. Watch how it was done. If and B12 is greater than 50, comma, C12 is greater than 15, then our statement is either true or it is false. So in this case, we are expecting a true because C and B12 is greater than 50, and also C12 is also greater than 15. So we click on enter. So we click on enter and we get a true result. Now we can drag it down to apply for others. Now as you can see, some of these ones had a lower had force. Sorry. So what it means is that their condition, like for this guy, B14 is 36.6, is not greater than 50. One. And C14 is not also greater than, okay, C14 is greater than 15. But there's a problem here. You said that both conditions must be true for you to get a true in and statement. But they are using an or statement. When we'll get to or first, but let's explain. For the condition to return a true result to you, the both statements must be true. Else it will return false for you. So you can click on enter, and that is it applies to all others that are here. Now for if or, if we want to use our if or, we can use type our if, open our bracket, type or, open another bracket. Now let us explain how or statement works. All logical statements, you the two results don't have to be true for you to get a true answer. If any of them are true, you get a true result. But if both of them are false, you get a false answer. That is how the or works. The difference between and or is that in and statement, both of them must be true. But in or statement, one has to be true. So if or, let's say we want to use this same bit 12 again, is greater than 50, greater than 50, or let's say is greater than 100, greater than 100, and or same B12, or let's use or 12, C12 is greater than is greater than let's say 15. Let's say 15. Then logical statement. Sorry, first close the bracket, please. Then use a comma. Use true, comma, false. So you click on enter. Now we are getting a true. Why? Because B12 B12 in the first place is not greater than 100. B12 is not greater than 100, but C12 is greater than 15. So we will definitely get a true answer because one of the two is true. But let's drag it down for others so that we can see the ones that will be marked as false. So for this one that is false, let's use this for instance. For this guy that is false, B17 is not greater than 100. 56.2 is not greater than 100. First condition. And the second condition, C17 is not also greater than 15. 4.2 is not greater than 15. So our answer is false. I believe everybody is following me. I believe you are all following me. Let me. Why? Why can't you all see my screen? But my screen is displaying properly here. What's the problem? Please, the link to the tutorial will be forwarded to you after the classes. If you cannot see my screen, I don't know, but I'm actually seeing everything clearly here. Maybe it is network issues. It should be network. Hmm. Well, let's continue first. So we have the nested if. Now, as earlier stated, our nested if, we can say, okay, let's just use for instance, you are compiling a result sheet. You are compiling a result sheet. Now you are told if your um if the student gets above 70, give them an A. If the students get 60 to 70, give them a B. If students get a if students get 50 to 59 is a C. If the person gets less than 50, give the person an F. Let's use F. So we use nested if for this. Nested if contains multiple ifs. That's why we just call it nested if. So in this case, we'll be using equal to if logical test. We want to use B12. We have been using this our B12. So we are using if is greater than or equal to if is greater than or equal to 70, 70, give him an A. Greater than, we'll have to select him again. Sorry, use comma. If you can still use B12 again, is greater than, it's let me just do it a little bit less than 70. Give the person an F. Let's just do it that way. Give the person an F. Let me just work with this. So I close my bracket. So this guy gets an A. We can use more than two ifs at the same time. So this is it. Please, reasons this class might come to an end now. But yes, let's just try the X lookup. This is how nested if works. We'll use for X lookup, probably I want to copy something from here and move it to this particular place. Let it be showing here. We can use X lookup. Um, then X lookup value. Sorry, excuse me first. I want to look up for 17.9. I want the name that is showing on 17.9 to display for me on my screen. Here I'm going to do here equal to x lookup. So we can select 17.9. Then we now the lookup value 17.9. The array return